I'm at a home overlooking Pittwater on Sydney's northern beaches. It's a beautiful sloping 1 acre block with lush gardens and a variety of vegetation, including native bushland. It's the perfect place to talk about how to deal with snakes in the garden. Tina.
Hi, Costa.
Hi, John.
Costa, how are you?
Tina and John Mostyn are licensed snake catchers who are passionate about teaching people how to live safely alongside snakes. What do you think the general perception is in the public around snakes? Is it getting better? Does it get worse?
Some people will deal with it really good. They're quite happy to have it around their property as long as it's not going to come into their house. And other people, they've still got that mentality of a good snake is a dead snake.
A good ecosystem has plenty of snakes in it. You know, a lot of snakes keep the rodent population down. Diamond pythons, which are common around here, their favourite food is rats, mice, possums, birds. So that's what they come in for.
One that's commonly found...
And you can probably guess who is in the bag for me to meet.
Which is our harmless diamond python. So he does get his name because of the diamond rosettes across the back of him.
The colours are so beautiful.
He just blends so well into this type of habitat, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Would you like me to pass him over to you?
Oh,
hold him.
He's making his way. I can feel that ripple.
Yeah.
Oh, he's come round already. It's so soft and yet strong. If you do come across a diamond python in your garden, Tina and John have a suggestion that might shock some of you. Think about not removing the snake.
If you have him removed, you've still got a food source there. You could have something dangerously venomous come onto your property, such as a brown snake that you don't want around your pets or your children.
In Australia, around 3,000 people are bitten by a snake every year, but only a few hundred of those require anti-venom, which means the vast majority of snake bites are dry, where the snake doesn't inject any venom.
Snakes react to fast movement. Like if you spook a snake and you stand still like a tree, they're not going to react to you. But when people move fast, they wave their arms about or jump about, and that spooks the snake. Then the snake could strike.
Snakes are purely defensive, so they'll only strike in an attempt to get that person to back away from them.
So where are you normally going to find a diamond python like this in this landscape?
In this landscape, well, these rocks, there's gaps, holes under these rocks that he can absorb that heat but stay hidden. But now look at him, he's going into that undergrowth.
Yeah.
So he's camouflaged in there. As you see, you'll go deeper in there.
So this banksia here, possums will come in to feed on the nectar that these guys exude. The diamond python will smell that the possum has been in here. He'll follow the scent trail, he'll get up into the tree here, and he'll sit in an ambush position, waiting for that possum to come back of a night time, and then he gets a feed.
There are lots of spots in the garden where you might be more likely to come across a snake, like your compost bin.
All the veggie scraps in here, all the other food scraps, rodents are going to be attracted to it. Snake's favourite food, rats and mice.
So putting mesh underneath your compost bin is a good security measure, but I suppose moving it further away from the house is another one.
Perfect, yeah, still have them on your property, but the furthest point away from your home, so at least the snakes aren't where you're coming in and out of the house all the time.
If you've got a pile of mulch or wood chips in your garden, this might attract snakes for a different reason.
It's nice and warm. You put your hand in there and it's nice and warm. So they get in there and they bury themselves in there.
What we always suggest is rake the area first. Check for any movement before putting your hands into that pile where you can't see in there. So get a rake and just sift through it quickly. Maybe wear gardening gloves. We've got thick, loose-fitting long pants and closed shoes. Our snakes have relatively short front fangs. If they do grab a hold of loose-fitting clothing, their fangs aren't long enough to penetrate through to the skin.
Drains in your garden are also a potential snake habitat.
They'll often travel in around the drainage systems, the stormwater systems, and use it as an underground Highway.
Yeah.
Rodent mesh is a very fine mesh, and you could cable tie it to the drains. And that way, if you do get snakes on your property and they are going to try and dive or hide in the drains, that stops them.
One snake you do find a lot in drains are red-bellied black snakes, because frogs and tadpoles are a primary food source.
There's quite a lot of toxins in their venom, so it will be quite a painful, nasty bite. But again, a snake like this is only going to bite if it feels threatened, or if you accidentally jump on the snake.
Another hotspot for snakes in the garden are where you've got things stored, like sheds, garages and carports.
We go out to a lot of places where they say that they've spooked a snake and it's shot into their garage or their shed. And we go out there, and as soon as you open the roller door, it is jam-packed. And you can't find the snake. You've got to take everything out to find it. So if you've got doors where you can stick a finger under, your laundry door, your front door, get those lockdown weather strips where you close the door, they lock down, and that keeps them out.
The next snake-friendly location is also often used for backyard storage and is always out of the sun. I'm talking about the space under a house.
Here we are with this death adder, and you can see how well he is camouflaging into the leaf litter. But his home range would be one of the smallest out of all of the snakes. Approximately 2 square metres would be his entire home range.
What?
I know, right?
2?
2.
You mean just here?
Yeah.
That's his home range?
This home range. You could be standing right on top of him. You wouldn't even know he's there, particularly gardening. And a lot of the time, people won't see them until they've completely weeded their garden bed. They've been putting their hands in or reaching into the area where a snake's been. They haven't even seen it.
So make sure you clean up the leaf litter under your house. Last but not least of the snakes we're meeting today is one of the deadliest of them all. Whoa, look at that.
So this guy is our Eastern brown, quite common around the peninsula here. Now these guys will travel along fence lines, ridges, hedges. So this is one that you really don't want around your gardens at all. Now these guys are a very nervous, very flighty snake that are highly attuned to movement. If you do get very close to one of these guys and they're standing in that double S defensive position, just stand still, don't move. The snake will settle down once you stop moving, and then slowly back away from the snake and give them an opportunity to get away.
So if you've got a hedge on a fence line, think about removing lower branches to reduce some of that snake cover and make it a less appealing pathway. So Tina, John, you've given us so much information about the habits of snakes, the habitat they like, but the reality is I could be out there gardening with a friend in a community garden somewhere, they get bitten. So it's like, hello, Tina, my friend's been bitten. What should I do immediately?
All right, don't panic. Don't worry about what snake it is. We need to make sure a compression bandage is applied to that limb, so to the arm or the leg. If it's not in that area, head, neck or torso, apply pressure to the area. And also important is to make sure that your friend keeps still. We don't want him moving or travelling anywhere. Just get him to sit down after that compression bandage is applied, get onto emergency services and get an ambulance to transport him to hospital.
Hopefully we've given you some useful tips to make your garden a little more snake safe. And who knows, maybe even make these incredible creatures a little less daunting for you.